Welcome inside. Now that you're on my VIP hot list, be sure to read all about how a few little known but powerful financing methods can help you buy your next home or investment property today, regardless of what the negative news media tells you. Right now, finding alternative ways to buy a house is at the forefront of everyone's mind. We can all agree that it doesn't matter if you're looking for a home for you and your family to live in, or if you're looking to buy a property to buy, fix up, and then sell or rent out for long term. Traditional mortgage lenders have been making it increasingly difficult for you to get a loan to buy your next house. Now, the media and politicians who build their careers on bad news would have you believe that in our entire country, there isn't a drop of money left in the bucket to help you buy your next house. This simply is not true. Below you'll find a list of the 4 major sources of money for buying houses that are alive and well today. Now, the first source of funds is known as hard money. For years, this has been the mainstay for real estate investors to buy homes. Credit and income terms are typically much more flexible than with traditional conventional lending sources. However, hard money is typically geared toward homes that need a lot of work and can be pretty much bought at fire sale prices because of their condition. The interest rates typically run very high as well, around 14 to 15%, because lenders feel that they're taking on more risk by lending you money on a house that you don't live in if you're a real estate investor. After all, we've all heard the stories of someone walking away from a rental property that they own because the payments were too high, or they just didn't like the responsibilities of being a landlord anymore. Because of the high interest rate, hard money isn't usually a good choice if you want to live in the home. Land contract seller financing is best for that, and we'll get into that in a second. Of course, you can always dig deeper to learn more about hard money loans in the information below. The second source of money is called private money. Private money is similar to hard money in that it has a higher interest rate, but usually not quite as high as most hard money loans. Private money is simply asking someone you know and have a relationship to give you the money to buy a piece of property. That's why it's also known as relationship financing, because it's based on the simple concept that people with money, they do feel better about lending to those they know versus someone they don't, as when they buy stock in some faceless company. Private money is usually only loaned out with a few years at a time, and then the lender needs the money back. So it doesn't work well for those looking to buy a house to live in, because you want to stay there for a long time and pay for a long time. Now, you can find out more about private money below as well. Now, the third source of money is called seller financing, and this is my favorite. Seller financing is known as a land contract in most areas, or a contract for deed in other areas. It's a fancy way to say that the seller is becoming your bank and is loaning you the money to buy the house in a similar fashion as a bank would loan you money to buy a house. Because the terms are established directly between the buyer and the seller, the details can be arranged with a large degree of flexibility so everyone involved benefits. That's why homes can be bought without so much as a credit check if everyone is fine with it. Seller financing works for investors too, and because it's the seller and you setting up terms together, there are no conventional underwriting guidelines to tell you, hey, you can only have 4 houses, or you need to invest an upfront down payment of 30% or more before you can buy a property. I work with sellers that sell many of their properties with built-in financing all the time. Some I sell directly to people like you on my VIP hot list, some I sell on the MLS the traditional way, and some I sell on eBay. No matter how I market these homes, I find that people are pretty much beating down the doors these days to get a chance to buy one. I guess there isn't enough sellers out there willing to sell with owner financing or something. I really couldn't tell you. If you want to know more about my favorite funding source, you can dig deeper on the page below. The last funding sources are lines of credit. Lines of credit are mostly used to buy investment properties, and you'll see why in a minute. They typically come in 2 flavors, either home equity lines of credit or HELOCs and unsecured business lines of credit. Both types of credit lines have their advantages and they have their disadvantages, and you can find out all about those on the page below. And that pretty much wraps it up for this video. Make sure that you check your email inbox. You should have gotten a confirmation message from me when you signed up for the VIP hot list. You'll need to click the link in that email so you can confirm that you want me to email you those hot deal notifications in the future. Rest assured, I guard your information like Fort Knox and never would sell it to anyone. You can also opt out of the emails at any time if you so choose. Again, thanks for taking an interest in what's available at GetOnTheListNow.com, and I'll see you in a video soon.